Hey, it's 28 millimeter RPG here. Rick, I'm doing an Inception video, so let's get to this craziness. Um, this is Sean Driscoll, uh, Shonner, as everybody knows him as, and we're just gonna go and do a little bit of a kind of a Inception rebuttal video. Shonner didn't say anything mean or bad or anything, so don't go into kind of territory with this one. I just wanted to kind of explain a couple of things and the reasons why this session panned out the way it did. So first off, let's go to here in the prelude here. We'll start her off. Earth-like planets. Next, you see an ancient relic emerging from the planet itself, ripping itself off the very surface of that world, heading up into the atmosphere. In the meantime, there's a huge space battle going on between... Yeah, I did speed it up, so I'm going to just bring it down just a little bit here. 1.25. I suggest if anybody's watching my videos, put it on 1.25 if you want to have a little bit more speeded up but still coherent version of the show. Keep it going here. Between these lizard craft and these rocket biplane, the chunk of planet.
I'm thinking Stargate, the movie. I'm also thinking the day the Earth, or was it, no, not day the Earth, was it Crack in the World? And what's this, the space battle one? What's that one? That one's going to be what? Just one of those generic scenes from Return of the Jedi, the handmade TIE fighter battle scenes with actual film overlaid with like 50 layers of film, and rotoscoped.
I'm glad I kind of gave that impression because normally I don't do a prelude, and this I thought was kind of necessary because the distance, the time distance that we've had since we've had our last session. So I wanted to kind of recap everything. And when I do that, I kind of let the players know that there's going to be a recap and stuff. There was a lot of pre-game kind of stuff that I explained to everybody in the beginning. This one over here, let's go to... Go. Something he mentioned here. She stops.
I said, where am I?
You are in...
How come I can barely hear this guy? How come?
Okay, so we're using Discord here, and one of the reasons why I am not going to be using Discord anymore is because the sound levels tend to... It's a case of before we get started, I go through everybody and get the sound levels okay. But it seems that when somebody's when you're in the middle of the game, you're distracted, stuff like that, you start talking with a little bit more inflections and stuff like that. And sometimes the level of volume that you are doing on the check is a lot different than the one that you are when you are explaining stuff while you're relaxed and chilling out and enjoying the role play session and getting into it and stuff like that. So you quiet up and stuff. And I find that a little bit, it's quite a bit different when you're doing the level checks. And then after when the actual role playing happens, people kind of set back from doing the check. Some people will do check really loud. And then when it comes to when they actually want to do something, they change the inflection in their voice and they don't use as much power and stuff like that. I usually, when I do a recording for something like music wise, I go ahead and get the person to go ahead and sing like they're supposed to be singing, and then you can kind of get those levels, and then when they do sing, they're at those levels. Or you can do just a slight adjustment. But in this case, if I did a slight adjustment in Discord, you'll see my my cursor come over, and you'll see people's heads disappearing as there's a new pop-up window and stuff like that, and it's just annoying and stuff like that. Plus, I don't my the level doesn't come through my headset, so I just hear what I hear from them. I don't hear the recorded version, so it messes me up. So I'm kind of tired of using Discord. We're going to be using StreamYards next time, so that should clear everything up, because it will take a levels and bring it to the level that you want it to be. So if they're talking really loud, it'll lower them, and if they're talking really low, it'll bring them up to a specific level. So that's one thing about StreamYards that I think will definitely help. Oh yeah, let's go to this part here. 840. Is that
Is this one of them AI pictures? If so, that's a good one.
so? That's the thing is, when I start doing AI pictures, I try to keep them kind of consistently in, like, I don't want a cartoony looking picture and then bring something in that looks like kind of semi-realistic, and then bring something in later that looks like some sort of anime kind of thing. I want my characters to look consistent, so I do strive to make them look presentably, kind of. They don't look like they look like real people, but they look like kind of photoshopped real people. Okay, that's kind of the effect that I'm going for. I don't want them to look like super realistic with all the blemishes and the hair are going all scraggly and everything else. I try to keep it like movie presentable kind of images. So just to put that out there. Next thing he brings up is, this is interesting. Goes ahead and takes a some sort of a wooden device and starts to put it towards her mouth.
I play along.
Okay, she's checking your.
So okay, so this is an orb that abducted them or something, and the orb is a lower technology than what these guys are used to. That's weird.
Okay, so something will be explained a little bit later on. I kind of want to give a little bit of a so this orb that encompassed the crew members one by one. When they looked into it, it was kind of like there was another world inside that orb. I kind of explained it, if we can recall correctly from our season one finale, and and it'll become apparent what's going on in session two. It's going to be a way more way more thing. Oh, you're gonna go, aha, okay, I see what's going on. With a twist, of course. And yeah, it they are in a world right now where the technology is, 90s level. They just had the internet, that sort of thing, that kind of stuff. And I know Sean goes ahead and mentions something about that in this video too. And yeah, the beginning of the internet, where people are free, and they're like discovering stuff, and people are talking back and forth, and it's not as moderated as we have nowadays. I want to put that nicely, moderated. Oh, I'm not wearing my toque of knowledge today. I want you guys to know that, yeah, I still have hair. I still got some there, so I'm not covering up because of maybe I'm going bald or something crazy like that. It is thinner than it used to be. I used to have really really thick hair. So let's go to the next part here. Oh, this is nice. This is cool. Go to here to 1656. Wattage output something is not being seen here. That's being generated. It's either going to be powered from within that building itself, or it's generated elsewhere.
Does the window look and see if I can open the window?
Negative. It's hermetically sealed. And you,
Like that, he he says, "Does the window?" And then he's changed it to, "I'm going to see if I can open the window."
see, yeah, and that's one of the things. My players end up catching themselves, and this is good because Gordo is it's awesome that he switched his line, and I appreciate that with Gordo. And that's the thing about role playing and staying in character. Ask questions as you are the character, not uh, not asking as a player to the GM. So you use your character to ask these questions in subtle ways, like I'm looking around the room, looking for some vents, not asking directly at the game master. Is there vents? Is there this? Is there that? It's yes, no, no, yes. Yeah. Um, you want to have the players develop to ask as their character, and this is cool. I'm glad Shonner caught this, and Gord's really good at this. He's keeping in character, and I mean it's okay if you slip up every once in a while. That's fine, you know. But as we learn, we try to train ourselves properly, and it's a tough thing to get out of is keeping in character and stuff. So let's go to 24, 51. There we go. Panels that can be, looks like they could be pushed up, kind of thing.
Okay, I want to know what this guy's doing. What's his character doing? Is he even in this game session?
Okay, we did a pregame talk. So because usually Josh shows up fairly early, and Gordo is usually the last one to show up and get all connected and everything. And I wanted to have this session kind of open up because they basically just been enveloped by this orb from last season, and they've reemerged uh, to something totally new, totally different. They're expecting to see around them like a spaceship, or they're supposed to be thinking that they are still in the ancient station, battle station, or whatever is Sentinel station that ripped itself away from the planet. It's huge. It's a massive, like, clump of land that came up with it. So it was an interesting scene and scenario for them. But I did do a pre-game kind of. I said, okay, so who wants to go first? Because I have to kind of the situation is going to split you guys up at first. So that's I kind of gave them a little bit of a heads up that I'm going to be game mastering somebody first, and then we bring it as soon as it's brought in. The scene's going to include one of the other players. So, and this worked out well, and especially because Spencer was unable to join as well. He's got a motherboard problem, and we're trying to rectify it. So, and yeah, we went over this, and yeah, Josh is in the game, but he's kind of on the side. He is. Well, I have to say, he in this situation, he's drugged. Um, he's the more aggressive out of the entire group. So, and there was an incident that happened, which for Josh's character, which might come up. So there might be a thing that I'll mention later on why certain things had happened. And also it kind of relates to what's coming up here with what something that Shonner has said here. So I'm bringing it up to this point here in the video. Here, we can always talk to you. My office is you just have to get one of the orderlies to direct you to where I'm at, and I'll be able to help you. Alrighty.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, he gets himself up and he smiles.
As he gets to the door, knock him unconscious. Grab a scalpel knife and just stab him in the neck. Otherwise, you'll be locked in that room again.
Smiles at you and heads on out.
You didn't do it.
I will look and see if the nurse leave with him, or do I see if she's still in the room?
Yeah, she leaves with him. Basically, they're both out.
Okay, I will wait for them to bring some clothing.
Okay, shortly you hear a thump thump on your.
They're gonna bring a straitjacket. How good is your martial arts? Naked.
Door. So here's the thing. I can understand why Shonner would be saying this, and Shonner's he's a very paranoid player. No, but for good reason. But as far as Gordo, his character is a negotiator. He is not a fighting type character at all. Gordo is a complete diplomat. He's the type of guy that would negotiate the conditions of a trade, that sort of thing. That's his background. The one who is a combat veteran and would tear somebody's head off if he had a chance to is actually Josh's character. So, but the situation is Josh's character is drugged. So that's the problem here is as the game is continuing on, Gordo's character is convincing everybody not to drug Josh's character Cobb, and to let him kind of level out, and so that he can help him kind of regain some, you know, memories and stuff like that, because that's how he's playing the situation. So Gordo is being very clever and playing to the strengths of his character, and you don't see that happen to a lot of players out there. They think that they can do it all, and sometimes they try to do it all and end up, failing miserably. So Gord's a good player. He's like he knows his strengths, he knows his weaknesses, and in fact he kind of got it kind of affirmed on the conclusion of our last season when he tried to use a vac suit and he's not trained, so he had a little bit of an issue where he tore his suit. So he knows that if you're not particularly skilled at something, you may end up with an issue. And he's using his strengths. He's talking to everybody. I think there was a situation where I think it was coming up here where he what was it? He mentioned to one of the he was trying to tell Josh's character to kind of like stay low key and everything. We're gonna negotiate our way out of this. He wants to figure out everything first and see what's going on. Who's in power? What's the situation? Is there a power that's against what's going on here? Is everybody put into the infirmaries here if they're going against some sort of grain against society? What are the tensions that are going on this planet? This is a totally different, like totally new area. So he's trying to figure everything out first before he acts, and acts too rash. If it was the situation where Sean was playing, and he's playing Gord's character. He has to remember he's not a combat veteran. He may have a little bit of an advantage if he tries to knock out um, the doctor, but he would be in a whole lot of trouble. There'd be like a lot of orderlies showing up and probably pummeling him into into unconsciousness or something like that. It'd be something like that where they would be using their stun guns on him or something. Um, but just putting that out there. If you don't know the backgrounds of the characters, yeah, Adamus is the negotiator. Josh is the combat. He's the bounty hunter, and Spencer, who isn't in this session yet, he is a engineer, but he's like a space worthy kind of guy. He's kind of an all rounder kind of dude. The two guys that you would count on for combat would be Spencer and Josh in this situation. But like I say, Josh is drugged, and so he and tied to a he's like been he's got like Velcro uh, restraints around his arms that connect him to the wheelchair to keep him in check. So that's the situation. Sometimes violence is not the answer. Let's go to this part here. Just kind of skip ahead and do this fairly quickly. I don't want this to be too long of a video. Oh yeah, this came up.
His video's choppy, and he sounds like an elf when he talks. Or maybe he's using a sound filter to make himself sound like an elf.
To believe it or not, Josh is using I think he's using an older laptop. So as far as filter, no, that's his actual voice. He's got kind of a little bit more of a squeaky voice. That's the way he sounds. That's the way he sounds in real life. So here we go. 54. 37.
For the government. Very
Oh,
interesting.
yes.
I must say that again, my memories are rather foggy. Whatever happened to me is making it somewhat difficult. I'm sure it'll come back in time, but well, how exactly does the government work? Is it are the leaders elected, or is it?
No,
Yeah.
this is a scene from Space Viking. In Space Viking, there's a chapter where the Lord guy, he gets to talk with the natives on the planet and they're chit chat.
Yeah, it's somewhat of a way of exposition to be able to kind of create exposition as the gameplay. I would rather have it this way than me as a game master spewing out nonsense, and the players are like, well, we don't have to be here anymore, we know all the answers to the questions and all that stuff. Yeah, I want the players to find things out slowly, and well, not slowly, but as fast as they ask the questions, to somebody, an NPC, they can uncover things and discover, oh, this is happening. And Adamus Eiler, once again, he's a negotiator. He's the one who wants to kind of suss things out and figure out what is happening here. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's great that he's playing it as his character. Oh, here we go. This part here.
Doing a video or checking other people's Traveler videos to see, can you play Traveler without using difficulty? Just 8 or higher, no matter what it is, no matter what the situation, just roll 8 or higher.
So if you see on this video here, let me grab you can see my cursor here. Down at the bottom here, this is a difficulty. Usually I set that at 8. So 8, but I can change that to 10, 12, or I can lower it to 6 and stuff. Um, so that is the current difficulty right now is at 8. As soon as they start figuring things out and they get more footing, they're kind of like they can be lowered in certain aspects. Like you're discovering more and more about this culture and stuff like that. Lower it to make it a little bit easier because you're figuring it all out, and it's to an advantage to your character. So I uh when I use difficulty, um I use it that way. I can crank it up or lower it. You've seen me do that in past games. I don't say that the difficulty's gone up or down. I just make it happen. And the players can see that change because they get the same thing. They see the same little chunk of area down here below the dice, that they can see where I've changed the difficulty, and all they do is they roll the die, and the die roll will tell you how much of an advantage or disadvantage over here as soon as they roll. Unfortunately, I covered it up slightly by this picture, but you would see that the what kind of a difficulty it was, and whether or not it was a success or it was a great success or if it was a failure or it'll give you the different levels there. So that's part of this whole fantasy grounds. It works well that way. The other thing is dice difficulty and the globe. Let's see. Yeah.
Can it be done? I prefer difficulty side.
Yeah.
That was one reason why I switched over to
That's-
second edition
that's-
trailers, because
I'm still
the
using it.
difficulty is the target number. 8+ isn't a thing anymore.
But there's only one moon around Terra, and this has a second one. And as you turn the globe around to see the second one, the other orb around it is kind of reddish, and it says Nibiru on it.
Ooh. I don't know what that means.
If you look up Sumerian mythos, stuff like that, they talk about Nibiru. That is that's the planet X, the missing planet from our system. It's the one that brought the gods. So in this case, it was either going to be evident through a globe or through them being like seeing the moon rise up at night, and then during the day they're going to see a red kind of. It's not quite a moon. They'll notice it's different than the moon. It's got different coloration and everything, and it also has kind of like an aura, like a plasma burst coming off of it. So that's another thing that is different about this moon. But it'll be evident pretty much within the first part of our next session. So kind of a little spoiler out there for you guys. But those who had keyed in on it, yeah, Nibiru is is planet X as far as our own mythos goes, with Babylonian, Sumerian kind of myth kind of stuff. I like to mix kind of stuff in there, conspiracy theory stuff, and bring it in and do cool stuff. And well, they're discovering this is Earth, but it's not Earth. So it's an Earth with a twist. See, are you getting what I where I'm going here with all my games? It's this, but a twist. Always. You got to do that. Otherwise, people will be, guessing all kinds of things and coming up. But you want to put that twist in there and make it extra special when they discover things like that. Once again, yeah, I've talked about this before, and this is right about there.
Any trouble now. We talked about this. I think it would be good for both of us if we were able to confide in each other a bit. But if you get uh, rambunctious, it's going to cause them to have to resedate you. So be on your best behavior, sir, and hopefully, we'll be able to help jog each other's memories.
So that was Adamus talking to Josh's character Cobb, kind of reaffirming, hey, we have to keep a cool head here in front of the orderly, so that he doesn't drug you anymore, because I want you to act when it comes to that point where we're like, we're making the break. And I think that's exactly the right call here. So he's like, you got a very good voice on you there, sir. He kind of notices. He goes, maybe you should apply if you get cleared of this situation.
Oh yes, well,
So, and I kind of reaffirm things with the NPCs, with players. If they are really good at something and they're just doing it, like I'm not making them roll or anything, but they have like 1, 2, maybe 3 points of skill in that, I'm going to play it up like the NPC is looking at him going, wow, this is miracles. It's like if you had a mechanic working on your vehicle, and you notice that they're like doing all kinds of things and they know exactly what they're looking for, and they're like, ah, yep, what I figured, blah blah blah, and they change stuff out, and be like, wow, you're pretty skilled at this. You're really good at this. Would have taken me hours to do. I really appreciate it. You wanna, as the game master, enforce an appreciation for them doing things in a particular way, and to help guide the players into how they play properly. Um, Adamus is obviously using his skills, and the NPC notices and says, "Oh, you're awesome at this." Blah blah blah. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. It's to help the psychology of the player, as they're playing, to know that they're on the right track of role playing their character properly. So um, that's what I was why I pinpointed it here. And 10702. It's just I I can see it. I'm kind of sad that Shonner missed our first introduction with Jack. He missed it. He kind of skipped ahead, and he missed that whole thing. It was uh it was interesting, but they are currently in a workshop. So he's missed the part that they've gone from the cafeteria to a workshop where Jack is. And Jack's working on some sort of weird kind of apparatus. And as far as the orderlies are concerned, as long as he's doing something and he's not causing trouble, Jack is okay. And Jack is making something. So we're getting onto the finale of this episode. But they took away something in the head that I know it's supposed to work, but I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. He kind of looks at you, he goes, maybe you can figure this out.
I'll take a look at what he's working on and see if I can.
So you're looking,
together
you're looking at his gadgetry and stuff like that, and you're going, it's very, some of this stuff, the components are very, very like stuff that back in the dinosaur age, as far as you're.
Yeah, the conspiracy theory stuff with the yarn going to all the different points on the map.
Yeah, he kind of missed out what was going on here. He was working in the corner, and he was making some sort of a device, and yeah, like the components being transistors and resistors and all that kind of stuff. It looks way different back in the day than what we have nowadays. If you look at transistors today, and they're like these little tiny cubes and stuff like that, it's really weird compared to what we had back into the 80s and 90s. It's It's totally if you were to open up an old computer, you'd be like, what the heck is this? You look at a computer today and it's just like a clean board and everything, and you have your components where you clip in everything. It's so different now. And that's kind of like what I'm conveying with this with Traveler, is because you're dealing with different technologies. For example, like the phone, the old phones that used to have the where you put your finger in and you dial it to a certain point and you'd let go and it would go tick 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 tick, and then you'd hit another number and you dial that to the stop point and go tick 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 tick. There was there's been a few people that have encountered these things, like these old ancient phones, and they don't know how they work. Where me, I know that you dial to the certain point, where it's got a kind of like a stopper, and then you let go, and it goes tick, 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 and it turns back to its original position. So people were trying these days, we're trying to work the phone by, what do I do? Press the number. Nothing's happening. What's going? Because they don't know. And I like to put in that kind of stuff in my Traveler games. So where the technology is backwards. I kind of got this from visiting a an old museum. So I went to go see a museum like about a year ago in Dawson, and we walked in there. We were looking at all these cool devices and everything, and you'd look at them and you go, what was that for? And then when you read the explanation of how they used the device, and you're like, ah, that's cool. That's neat. You don't have to have a ton of technology. This thing did it for you, and it was a very simple, easy kind of thing to use. But of course, nowadays you don't use stuff like things to pull seeds from onions and stuff like that. You don't see that. And where would you get that knowledge? How would you pull seeds from an onion plant and stuff like that? Or carrots and stuff like that. Some people don't even know. And there's devices back in the old days that they used to use, which they would have like a little turn crank, and it would flay off the seeds off of certain plants and stuff like that. So they look weird, and unless you know what it's for, you would have no idea what. And this is only a span of like what, maybe 60 years between, and we're talking about, in Traveler, spans of thousands of years between, different technologies that you would have. So that you know trying to figure things out. There's also an occasion where, well, there, um for example, Adamus Ilor is putting on his clothes, and he's like, these are he's not used to buttons. He's never used buttons before, buttons and loops and stuff. All their stuff is like, you go ahead and put your hand over it and you go whoop, and it zips itself up by itself. You don't even have to. It's stuff like that. It's like almost magic now, with the technology and all. Your clothing goes ahead and seals itself up and stuff like that. And yeah, those are like Tech 12, Tech 13 kind of stuff that they're used to. Where this is, you're like, okay, how do we use this? How does this go together? Why isn't this, yeah, going together by itself? It should be automatic. Stuff like that. Um, so that's a thing. He kind of missed out on that, but near the end, here,
Oh, bastard.
yeah, that was the best compliment I ever got. I switched from color to black and white. And you see the orderly over by the door, and suddenly you see basically his face turn totally different on you.
That's
And you're
cool.
seeing some sort of like crystallized kind of eyes on him, and kind of like almost like a bug-like mouth on him. And that's where we'll end the session for today.
Oh, bastard.
That's the best compliment I could get out of Shonner. him calling me a bastard, because I like putting people onto like a like it's you can either have that this session is like dun 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 outer limits and this ends, so it is in itself a little story that kind of you know these guys trying to figure out where they are, what's happening, and they're uncovering different weird things that doesn't make sense, and they know something's up, they can't quite figure it out, and then now this crazy guy, um Jack, who was creating this device, and they switched it, turned it on, and suddenly it's like all of the color flushes out of the entire area, and they're like almost like in a bubble of kind of a reality, and they're seeing stuff like almost like they live kind of a revelation sort of thing that went on here, and yeah. Thank you, Sean, for calling me a bastard. I appreciate it. That was a good bastard, because I know he wanted more after that. It was like, okay, that's a good thing. If you want more, you're gonna have to tune in for the next episode. So that's all I want to say here. I just wanted to you know chime in back in an Inception kind of way, and say, hey, this is the reason why certain things are that you haven't keyed in on, and this is the reason why some of this stuff happened. So awesome. If you guys want to, hey, hit that subscribe button. I know this was a long video, but hey, put a lot of stuff into it. You learn things from me, and I learn stuff from you guys, especially when you do videos like this. I'll chime in, we'll talk about it. Bigger guys, subscribe. Let's do it. Hit the sub.